Hey guys, Todd here with Great Escape Farms, giving you a little update on the farm here. I've been busy this weekend doing a lot of different things. You can see here in front of me I have a little mini flower bed planted in here. Right here I have a Stella Diora daylily. The flowers on that are edible. With daylilies there are like 60,000 cultivars out there. The original orange ones were edible. The Stella Dioro are edible, and there are some others, but there are a lot of them that are now poisonous or will give you issues if you eat them. So make sure you know which cultivar you have. Over to the side here, I have one on each side and then one in the back here. I put in some Aronia Viking, and the Aronia Viking, again, is an edible, is also known as black chokeberry. So I needed some out here for my plant propagation, and this looked like a great place to do it. So I actually have 3 of these bird houses. Let me see if I can back up here and show it all. 3 of these bird houses, so I did a flower bed in front of each one. Now this is right where I had trenched, or had somebody trench for me, in my water lines, and you can see in the very back here one of the faucets coming out with the hose wrapped around it. Well, that was last spring, and since then I've had a lot of cave-in around it, around the pipe, so the water works fine. It's just been caving in and making it a pain to mow. So this, I've got 2 yards of topsoil, and I went ahead and put that in here, and then I went ahead and seeded that. So I need to throw some hay on top of that and let it sit, and maybe some clover as well. I kind of like clover in with the grass. You can see it right here. Back in the 17 and 1800s, that's how they planted grass. They actually put clover down. They did a 50-50 clover and grass seed mix, and clover helps put nitrogen in the soil, and also it's the New Zealand white clover is about 8 inches tall, so it doesn't get horribly tall like the grass does, so it kind of keeps that at bay, and it just makes for better nutrient in the soil itself. So let me go find something else in the yard to show you. Okay, we're here in front of the food forest that I'm putting in, and you'll see there's a new plant right there, or actually that's not new, or right behind it, that's a red chokeberry, or a red aronia. Over here is the one I was thinking about a minute ago. That is a raspberry bush, so it's not the vining type. I had a number of trees planted in there before, but I did have some losses over the winter, or actually some of them were during the summer. I put these in the ground, and I did stun, or the stun method, which is Shear Total Utter Neglect. And I put it in the ground, watered it once, and just left it be. And some of the plants didn't make it. So I put some other stuff in its place, and actually you can see another one right there that didn't make it. So I put probably 20 or 30 new plants in here this week. And also, if you remember, in the fall I had a whole bunch of my Thornless Blackberries. So I had them, what I did is I tucked them right in where these annuals are. I had them in the leaves, I tucked them in, and I was hoping that they would winter over okay. Well, I ended up with about 50 different blackberries, and I went and I put them, I'll show you in a minute where I put them. I can't get a good view of it right now. So I left 3 out for my father-in-law here, but you can see these things are very nice plants. These are all well rooted. I put these in individual pots for him because it was getting too late to separate them, and I'm not sure when he's going to get them in the ground. So I separated these, put them in pots, so that way he can just take them out of the pot and put them in the ground without having to separate the bare roots. So let me angle around here so you can see back there in the woods. That is where I put the blackberries. They are right at the edge of the woods, a little bit to this side and back into the woods. So they should get plenty of sunshine back there, at varying degrees of sunshine, but at the edge, which is where a plant like that would be. I found a local supplier that has, it's not certified organic, but they use organic practices, hay, for $25 a bale. So I went and got 3 of those. My previous bales had cost me $50. So I have plenty of use for hay in the forest garden. Once everything comes up, I'll weed whack some of the other stuff down and put some hay in there and give it some more organic matter. One of the big projects for this weekend was up here. I had gutters put in on the garage, and you'll notice right there I have 2 water tanks out front, which I need to move to the back section here. And sorry for the bouncing around as I walk here. I'm trying to get back here quick. And I have 2 right here. Well, the gutters up at the top are coming down, and what I'm going to do is take these downspouts and I'm going to divert them. I'm going to have 4 of these 300-gallon water totes back here. I will connect them together and have each of the downspouts from each side. So a lot of water coming in here. It's going to be, let's see, this is 24 foot wide, so 12 on each side by 51 foot long. So that's a lot of water I'm going to be getting into these totes when we get some rain, and that will definitely help with the forest garden in the back. And back here, my plant propagation bed. So I did a couple of videos this winter and showed you putting plants in. This is my deer-proof plant propagation bed. So you can see these things are doing great. These are elderberry right here and some dappled willow. I do have some issues with these blueberries. I don't know what the heck is happening with them. They are constantly getting knocked over on me. But everything in here is doing very, very good out here. I do need to get some shade cloth on this, and I also have another problem. So this is deer proof, and I knew that it wasn't, I needed to do some additions for rabbit proof. So I was gonna add in some of that chicken wire along the bottom here. And actually, I think here's one right here. So you see that hole right there? When I came in the other night, I actually came in Thursday night because the gutters were going in Friday while I worked. So fortunately I have the ability to work from home. So I came in at night and shined the lights down this way, and I saw a cat, a house cat, wandering around. And this looks like a litter box, I'm sure, to a cat. So hopefully the chicken wire up 2 feet will keep the cat out. If not, I may have to totally cover this chicken wire up about 2 feet, maybe up to here, and then the rest of it with shade cloth, and hopefully that will keep them out. Didn't count on having a cat problem here. And while I was over here, I just noticed something on these grapes. If you notice right there, see if I can get a view on that. Actually, it's trying to grow grapes here. So I'm definitely gonna have to cut these off. While I love grapes and I hate to see fruit go to waste, I want these bad boys to be working on roots and not on fruiting. So I will go ahead and cut the fruit off there. And that's it for here. I'll see if I can find something else in the yard to show you. Nothing too exciting here. I just wanted to show you this. I had a bag of extra cuttings and twigs and stuff from my residence in Maryland, and I bagged that up and brought it out here. What I'm going to do with this is take it and spread it out in my food forest back there, and that will add extra carbon, slow decaying carbon, in with everything else to just help make better soil back there. So trying to add as much carbon and organic material as I can back in the food forest there. A little bit more work I got done this weekend. I got all of my perennial plants planted and a good number of my annual plants planted in here. So I have a separate video on the sheet mulching of this garden, and I either have up or will put up in the next week a video on the actual planting of the perennials, the design, and everything else. So 2 separate videos on this garden, give you a good bit of detail about what's going on here. Okay, so I did a section earlier about blackberries and my father-in-law's blackberries not being planted yet. Well, I took the liberty of planting them for him up at his place, doing some work on some gutters, and I looked around and I saw all these white flowers, and these are wild blackberries. I know that he has them, and they're all over the place, and the only issue is they grow really, really small blackberries. But the one thing this does tell me, that because they're growing all over, this is the perfect soil, the perfect sunlight, and everything else for blackberries. So what I'm doing is adding a cultivar that has much larger blackberries. So I just dug a hole right here and plopped it in the ground. You can see it right there. Hopefully it takes off. I have 3 of them. I did it in various sections around here, and like I say, I know it's the perfect light. I know it's the perfect soil because the other blackberries are just thriving in here. So hopefully these will as well. And if it does take off, then we'll weed out some of the wild ones and let the cultivar that I just put in take over, and we'll have some good plump blackberries back here.